I'm back, and you're watching the World News. I'm Randolf Jamias. Starting off in Ukraine, Kiev received its first snow this winter on Monday, bringing the temperature down to -4 degrees Celsius. Persistent snow mixed with ice particles brought great inconveniences to commuters, leading to severe congestion on many roads in the downtown area from Monday afternoon. Municipal affairs departments dispatched snow removal crews to get traffic flowing normally as soon as possible. The local meteorological authorities forecast that a cyclone from the Balkan Peninsula would bring large-scale, persistent snowfall across Ukraine. Temperatures could fall to as low as -15 degrees Celsius. The influence of this cold front is expected to last until the weekend. Many people were unprepared as the cold wave swept over suddenly. Extreme weather condition hit Ukraine severely last winter, leaving over 130 people dead during one particularly bad cold spell. Meanwhile, heavy rainstorms battered central and northern California over the weekend, knocking out power up to thousands in San Francisco, Sacramento, and elsewhere, and causing flooding in a number of communities. The area has been saturated by two major weather systems in the past 5 days, and another storm is expected to hit on Tuesday. The downpours have also caused mud and landslides. Some rivers, though, haven't risen as much as expected, bringing relief as the wintry weather begins to roll in. In other news, the Mars Curiosity rover used its full array of instruments to analyze Martian soil for the first time, NASA announced on Monday. Scientists said it found a complex chemistry within the red planet soil.
In terms of things that we think are great discoveries that the general audience is going to be interested in, our bottom line is that we have a globally representative material that we have analyzed and done it comprehensively with all the instruments. And these comprehensive, fully integrated investigations are going to be the basis by which we make major discoveries of public interest, but we're just going to have to be patient.
Water and sulfur and chlorine-containing substances were detected in samples Curiosity's arm delivered to a laboratory inside the rover. NASA added the detection of the substances demonstrates the laboratory's capability to analyze diverse soil and rock samples. And talking about space programs, this time in China, the Astronauts Center has successfully completed a 30-day self-sufficiency space habitat program. Let's have more of the story.
The successful program raises China's manned spacecraft technology to a higher level. And the two participants in the trial lived in a 36-square-meter space simulator for 30 days. The oxygen they breathed was produced by the plants grown within the simulator, and the participants' urine was processed to irrigate the plants so as to create a balanced ecosystem within the simulator. By implementing a comprehensive wastewater disposal system, the simulation is able to achieve 100% self-sufficiency of air. Experts at the Astronaut Center of China say by reducing supplies from the outside, this self-sufficient technology is essential to solving long-term manned space travel.
Now, something about the environment. Romania's dwindling virgin forests have been thrown a lifeline with a new law protecting them from logging. The forests are among the oldest ecosystems in Europe, but have been decimated by the cash-strapped country since communism fell more than a decade ago. Here's the full story.
The sound of chainsaws ripping through ancient virgin forests in Romania is nothing unusual. Since the fall of communism in 1990, most of the country's forests have come under private control, with nothing to prevent logging on a large scale. As a result, vast tracts of ancient forest have been cut down. But that's about to change. Conservation groups like Greenpeace and the World Wildlife Fund have succeeded in persuading the Romanian government to pass a law protecting the ancient forests that remain. The WWF's Margot Sibi says it's a first for Europe.
Această minunată pădure virgină din jurul nostru. This wonderful virgin forest around us has been saved because lots of Romanians have been mobilized and have succeeded in putting pressure on the authorities. They have succeeded in convincing the authorities that we must care about this extraordinary asset Romania has. Romania is the first EU country to create a law putting all virgin forests under protection.
Romania's forests are a haven for some of Europe's rarest animals like the lynx and wolf, and countless species of flora. The WWF is now helping the government identify the forest areas to be protected. Private owners will be compensated under the new law, according to government spokesman Mugur Kosmanciuc.
Romania has over 260,000 hectares of forest terrain classified as virgin forest. The Environment and Forest Ministry has issued a document which will become law. This document is establishing criteria for virgin forests and will eventually register all those areas as strictly protected areas.
For conservation groups, the law is a major victory. They hope other nations where forests are disappearing will take note and enact laws of their own.
In the art scene, the city of Bremen is home to a group of light artists called Urban Screen. The company's 8 directors got together in 2005 and brought a range of skills to the table, from architecture to theater design and media arts. Together, they created an award-winning niche in light projection, which has made their company a global success.
Sydney's Opera House. It looks as if it's about to set sail. But it's an illusion. These images are being projected onto the world-famous building by Urban Screen, a group from Bremen who specialize in light art. They were in Sydney in May.
We've never worked with this kind of structure before, and we see it as more of an object than as architecture. We understood it as a sculpture and played with that, rather than taking in the whole thing as a building.
They use a 3D model for their work, made possible by GPS data and construction plans. They took their finished projection straight to Australia without any kind of trial run. Urban Screen formed in 2005. Using the world as their projection screen, they're co-founders of a new art form. Today, they're in demand across the world. They designed the stage for the 2011 performance of Mozart's opera Idomeneo in Bremen. But they prefer to work with building facades, often as part of culture festivals. It takes months to develop a concept. Actors are enlisted to enact scenes which fit the buildings onto which they are then projected. Artistic freedom is the group's top priority, even when the work has been commissioned. The building's colonnades and irregular facades proved a challenge. The light projections can be simulated with a computer, but it works better with a model. So the art collective built a miniature replica of the university, something they do to help them become familiar with the building, even if they happen to be thousands of kilometers away. One thing is definitely set in stone. Urban Screen will continue to amaze with their extraordinary light projects.
And finally, in sports, England, Wales, and Australia were all drawn together in a group of death when the draw for the 2015 Rugby World Cup in England was made on Monday. The trio all found themselves in Pool A at a pool draw for what will be the 8th World Cup, conducted at London's Tate Modern Gallery. This means one of the sport's traditional powers will be knocked out before the quarterfinals, with only the top 2 teams from each of the 4 pools going through the knocked stages. Wales were beaten 14-12 by Australia, world champions in 1991 and 1999. England are currently in confident mood after their 38-21 victory over reigning world champions New Zealand at Twickenham on Saturday. Every team that has won the World Cup has gone through the tournament unbeaten, but Gatland added a soft draw, had frequently worked against the All Blacks in previous tournaments. The 2015 World Cup will run from September 18 to October 31 with the final at the Twickenham. And that concludes the World News. Hope to see you again next time. Stay tuned for the local news.